For a song of blades and heroes, you will need 3 6-sided dice per player, a few miniatures, about 8 to 12 for an average 400-point game, 3 measuring sticks, and a playing surface with some scenic terrain such as trees or hills. The 3 measuring sticks you will need are used for movement and verifying distances. In 28mm scale, a short stick is 75mm, the medium is 120mm, and the long is 180mm. Every model is described by a profile. Points is the cost of the model. Quality is the indication of the model's willingness to fight. Reaction speed, initiative, and morale. Combat is how well the model fights. And traits are a catch-all, includes the model's abilities, weapons, talents, and spells. For example, these models might have block because they're shields. This one has a ranged attack. This one is a spellcaster, while this model's big. And this one here comes big and can fly. On the acting player's turn, he may attempt to activate one of his figures. He may decide to roll 1, 2, or 3 dice to activate. The rolls must be equal to or greater than their model's quality for a success. Each success is an action that the figure may perform. Actions include movement, melee attack, ranged attack, spells, etc. Example for activation, this model has a quality of 4. Deciding to roll 3 dice, we roll a 5 and a 6, which are both a success higher than the quality of 4. The 2 is not. For every failure rolled for the activation, it allows the opponent to attempt a reaction with one of his own figures. If multiple failures are rolled in a single activation attempt, the opponent may decide to use each failure as a reaction or to cause a turnover, in which case the opponent becomes the acting player. In this example, the quality 4 model has 1 success and 2 failures. The opponent may decide to use both failures as a reaction or to cause a turnover and take the turn. When a player fails 1 or more activation rolls, the opponent may immediately attempt a reaction. A figure may successfully react only once during an opponent's turn. A reaction is used exactly as a regular action, except the reaction occurs before any successful actions by the active player. So, in this example, the Fungus Warrior has 2 successes higher than his quality of 4 and 1 failure. The opponent, using the Goblin Fungus Zombie, uses that failure activation and rolls a reaction. If the reaction roll is higher than his quality, then is able to perform 1 action. All models move using the medium measuring stick, unless changed by a trait or by obstacles which may reduce it. Movement is performed in a straight line along the length of the measuring stick. A model will generally need more than 1 action to turn around a corner or move past a foe, but facing is not a requirement in these rules. As you can see, it leapfrogs the stick for their movement. A model must be in base contact with a foe to fight a melee. Melee is simultaneous. Either model involved in the fight may be affected by the results. Each model fighting a melee rolls 1 die and adds its combat score. If the result is a tie, nothing happens. When one model beats the other in melee, if the winner's die score is even, the loser is knocked prone. When one model beats the other, if the winner's die score is an odd, the loser recoils 1 base width away from the attacker. If the winner of a melee doubles the loser's result, the loser is out of action and removed from the tabletop. In this example, the spearman to the left has a combat of 2 for a total result of 3, while the fungi warrior to the right has also a combat of 2 for a total of 6. 6 being double the 3 The spearman is out of action and removed from the tabletop. If a winner in melee combat triples the loser's result, the losing figure suffers a gruesome kill, which causes a morale check for all the loser's warband who witnessed this kill, and the figure is dead. In this case, the spearman, who has a combat of 2, rolled a 1 for a total of 3, while the Motenagar, who rolled a 6, has a combat of 4, plus he's big. He has definitely tripled the poor little spearman. So the spearman has suffered a gruesome kill. So he is now dead, and his teammates in the same warband will roll for morale to see if they run away. A model with a ranged weapon is able to hit a target from a distance. Every shooter has a ranged stick on his profile, whether it's short, medium, or long. If a target is within one ranged stick, the shooter may attack using his normal combat. In this example, this shooter has a range of a medium, and if the target is within that medium, he has no penalty to his normal combat. If a target lies within 2 range sticks, the attack is at a -2 to their combat. If a target lies within 3 sticks, the shot is a -4 to the combat. Any target beyond the 3 sticks cannot be shot at. Ranged combat is resolved by comparing the combat scores of the shooter and target. Only the shooter can affect the target. The target's role is purely defensive. Shooter and target roll a die and add their combat scores. If the overall result is a tie, or if the target wins, then the shot has missed. In this case, both with a combat of 2, the target has tied the result of the shooter, and therefore the shot has missed. If the shooter wins the combat, the target is knocked prone on an even score. If the shooter wins the combat, the target is recoiled by 1 base width on an odd score. If the shooter doubles the target's score, the target is out of action. In this case, the spearman has a combat of 2, as does the archer. The total result for the spearman is a 3 to 6 with the archer, which has doubled the result, and therefore the spearman is out of action. If the shooter triples the target's score, it causes a gruesome kill. In this case, the fungus-controlled goblin zombie with a combat of 1 has a grand total of 2, to the archers who combat with 2, added the 6, to a total of 8, 8 to 2. We tripled the score, therefore causing a gruesome kill. Goblins removed, and we roll for morale for his warband teammates. A morale test is a quality check rolled on 3 dice. Morale tests are required after a gruesome kill occurs, or against the models with the terror trait, when a friendly model with a leader trait is put out of action or leaves the battlefield, or when the warband has more out-of-action models than living. When rolling for morale, if a model fails on 1 dice, they make 1 move towards the closest table edge. In this case, with a quality of 4, this model has failed 1 of his dice, and therefore must move 1 movement towards the nearest table edge. When rolling for morale, if a model fails on 2 of his dice, then he has to make 2 moves towards the closest table edge. In this case, this model with a quality of 4, he has passed once, but he has failed twice, therefore moving 2 movements towards the closest table edge. When rolling for morale, if a model has failed all 3 of his quality checks, that model is removed and considered to have ran away for this battle. In this case, with a quality of 4, this model has failed all 3 of his rolls for equality and is removed from the table.